All right, Duncan, we can start in about 30 seconds.
Sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2025 Graduate Diversity Admissions Fair, where the Meron Semeda, my colleague, and I will lead you through the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program at UC Berkeley webinar. I'm the program director for the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program here, and Meron is the Scholars Advisor for the program. So we are grateful to have you here for all of you guys tuning from all over the world, mostly from Africa. You're most welcome. So we will start rolling, Meron, and any guys, if you have any questions, feel free to type in the chat, and we will have the time to answer all those questions. So, Meron, let's go next slide. So before we begin, we want to make a land acknowledgement. We recognize that UC Berkeley sits on the territory of the Huichin, the original landscape of the Chochenyo-speaking Ohlone people, the successors of the sovereign Verona Band of Alameda County. This region continues to be of great importance to the Muwekma Ohlone tribe and other familial descendants of the Verona Band. We recognize that every member of the Berkeley community has and continues to benefit from the use and occupation of this land since the institution's founding in 1868. Consistent with our values of community inclusion and diversity, we have a responsibility to acknowledge and make visible the university's relationship to native peoples. As members of the Berkeley community, it is vitally important that we not only recognize the history of the land on which we stand, but also we recognize that the Muwekma Ohlone people are alive and flourishing members of the Berkeley and broader Bay Area communities today. Next slide. So as you can see from the map there, up there, that's where Berkeley is. And all this land, we are making an acknowledgement that they belong to those people who I've just mentioned. And we are grateful to them. And we are hoping that some of you who are on this call will realize your dreams of living in this land as you pursue your studies here. Next slide, Meron. So this is basically the outline of this webinar. I will take you through the welcome, and we'll go through what Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program stands for, the idea of the Young Africa Works program here at UC Berkeley. And of course, we know there are a lot of partners who are working on similar programs across the world. And then my colleague Meron will take you through the application process. And I guess that is the meat of the program. And then we'll talk about the UC Berkeley Scholars Program, and then I hope we will have enough time to answer all your questions, and if possible, follow up with some email for those questions we will not be able to answer here. So the University of California here in Berkeley was established in 1868, first of 10 UC campuses. There are several campuses you can check online, 10 of them. So we're based in Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area. So what you see there, so behind me is the Campanile, just behind this door, and that's what you're seeing there, and it overlooks the Bay Area and the San Francisco skyline. We solve problems at UC Berkeley. We are the #1 public university worldwide. We are the #1 in startup founders and female entrepreneurs. We have, as of today, Nobel laureates, 26 faculty, and 37 alumni who have won Nobel Prizes either in physics, chemistry, and all that. Those of you who've watched the movie, The Oppenheimer, you can see a lot of UC Berkeley there. Oppenheimer is a former staff member of this university. We have 45,882 students. 12,812, 28% of them are graduate students, and we hope that some of you will be part of that percentage. There are currently 5,052 PhD and 7,793 master students. And we are hoping and praying that some of you will be part of this cohort of master students. Some of our scholars have gone on to be part of the PhD program here and across the Bay Area. We have 2,635 international graduate students. And one of the reasons for this webinar is to hopefully make you part of this international cohort. We believe in internationalization, and our scholars have always added the element of diversity to UC Berkeley. So the scholars program includes 45 plus master's degree program. We can talk in detail about each of them if we have time, but you can also go and check online. Amazing programs. Next slide, Meron. So the Young Africa Work Strategy is a concept that was designed by Mastercard Foundation, and the whole idea was to ensure that Africa's future is realized via its young people and through what is called dignified employment. So the idea is that by 2030, the foundation's work will enable 30 million young people in Africa to secure employment in a dignified and fulfilling way, to give you a career path, to give you work that gives you dignity, and that when you look at the end of the day, it gives you respect, and it also, enriches the community where you guys will belong to. There's a lot of components to that. You can read that online. And the Scholars Program is very integral into that. So there are many components that the foundation does. And one of that component in terms of giving the youth of Africa a dignified and fulfilling career and jobs is through the Scholars Program. So the Scholars Program is intended to foster a cohort of next generation leaders who will contribute to social transformation and economic growth on the continent. We want to look at your leadership potential. We want to look at your creative potential. But it's also a merit program. We also want to look at good grades, so a combination of all that. But also at the same time, we want to look at people who, in a sense, have all these qualities, but at the same time have specific economic challenges. And the role that we come in partnership with the Mastercard Foundation is to bridge this gap and ensure that you realize your dream as the next generation of African leaders. So this is not a scholarship program, but rather it is a transformative leadership development program. We at UC Berkeley are known for developing leaders, and working with the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program, we want to use this opportunity, this program, to nurture leaders. And we already assume that you guys already have the leadership potential. And what we want to do is just to polish that up here at UC Berkeley. Next slide. Meron. Meron, I think you can take it up from here, right?
Right. Thank you, Duncan.
All right.
Right. Thank you, Duncan. Again, as Duncan mentioned, my name is Meron Samada. I am the Scholars Advisor at UC Berkeley. Again, give me 1 second. All right. So what does the Scholars Program include? The Scholars Program include tuition. Your tuition is entirely paid. Your stipends, you get a monthly stipend. Your health insurance is paid. You must have health insurance while you're an international student in the United States. That is completely covered. Your accommodation is also covered. For first-year students, we have an accommodation that we organize for you. You have to stay in that accommodation to just make your life a little easier. And for safety reasons, usually we've been keeping our students in the international house. For the second year, you can always choose where you want to stay. You can live off campus. And some of you are coming only for one academic year, meaning 2 semesters. Your travel to Berkeley is covered by the Scholars Program, and we also cover visa courses for the initial application. And we also provide you with laptop stipend and book stipend. In addition to this, we also have other events that we probably cover. An Africa-based summer internship support if you're not getting paid. That also we support you with financial support. This only applies for students or scholars who are in 3 to 4 semester degree program. If you are only in 2 year degree, in 2 semester degree program, then you will be graduating before the summer. We also have a transformative leadership training program. It's a 2 unit course that takes place each spring. Scholars are required to take that class. We do have the scholars have an organization called Sankofa where they do activity and we provide Sankofa funds. And then there is a lot of foundation opportunities, such as recently several of our scholars were invited to go and speak and participate at the United Nations General Assembly on different areas of expertise. We also have an entrepreneurship training each fall. It takes place over 3 weekends. We bring you an instructor that specializes in entrepreneurship. That instructor also brings field experts, industry experts to come and guide you in your pursuit of entrepreneurship. And then we provide advising support, career development support, cohort building, alumni networking, including one of the sessions that takes place in the fall is annual retreat. We just came from a wonderful retreat in Green Mountain in Los Gatos. The scholars had a wonderful time, and we had 2 amazing speakers that we invited to come and speak to them. So it's as Duncan mentioned it's a transformative leadership. It's not just only the scholarship aspect of it, but it's a scholars program that encompasses beyond just taking scholarship to pay for tuition. And the application calendar. The application calendar starts already in the month of September. Right now, we have the application fee waiver application that's open, and it goes all the way to the end of March or beginning of April. So each year we expect to award about 29 scholars until 2028. The current budget that we have will end in 2030, and we are hopeful that the foundation will extend the scholarship, the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program beyond 2030. But currently, the last intake will be in 2028, and we expect them to graduate in 2030. In September, the general degree program admission for master's degree at UC Berkeley opens. And what that means is at the same time, we also open our application fee waiver for the limited number of application fee waiver that we can offer. And then by mid-November, we have the deadline for the application fee waiver application. It's currently up and running. Then by December to mid-January, degree program application comes to a close. Most of the master's degree program deadline is December 1st, so you need to communicate directly with the master's degree program that you are interested in to know when the deadline is. And the scholars program cannot accommodate applications who submit later or during the secondary deadline or during the second or third admission deadlines. Some degree programs have more than once deadline. We go only by the first deadline. So if you want to be considered for the scholars program at UC Berkeley, you must submit your application by the first deadline. Especially this applies to the MBA program, to Master of Architect, and several other degree programs, including the Master of Development Engineering. So make sure you submit your application by the first deadline. In mid-January, then the degree programs nominate candidates to the scholars program. One thing you need to know, you do not apply to us directly. You apply only to your master's degree program to get admitted to your degree program, and it's the degree program that nominates you if you qualify for the scholars program. So you do not need to apply to the scholars program. In February, Scholar program invites nominated candidates to submit supplemental application. It's only this time when you were nominated by the degree program that we reach out to you to provide us with a supplement application. By early March, we invite you, the Scholars Program will invite selected candidates for an online interview, and we do the finalized selections. By mid-March or late March, um, award of Scholars Program opportunity and confirmation of acceptance takes place. So by late March, you should know whether you have been awarded the Scholars Program or not. All right. So apply to your master's degree program first. That is the key. That is the most important thing you need to do. You do not apply to, as again, I'm repeating this. You need to apply to your degree program first. Just so you know, it's very competitive. Imagine we're only taking 29 awardees each year. And we always say this, there are many partner institutions, and we encourage you to apply to those different partner institutions that offer Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. Some of those institutions include in the global north, Cambridge, Oxford, Edinburgh, Sciences Po, McGill, British Columbia, University of Toronto, and Arizona University in the United States, and Arizona University in Costa Rica. So we always encourage you to apply not only to Berkeley, but also to other institutions. That is, if you're only thinking of pursuing your higher education, your master's degree, with the support of Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. Yes, we want you to prioritize Berkeley. That's our main interest, but it's always good to also apply to multiple institutions if you only focusing to get that higher education through the Scholars Program. It's very highly competitive. You must have at least a bachelor's degree to be admitted to UC Berkeley. The average GPA that is accepted is 3.0, but that should not stop you from applying to Berkeley. If you have 2.9, 2.8, but you had an amazing entrepreneurship and leadership skills, the university looks at multiple aspects of the person. It's not only the transcript or the how much GPA you have that qualifies you for Berkeley. So they look at a holistic person. At UC Berkeley, if your medium of instruction for your undergrad or if the business language in your country is not English, you are required to submit TOEFL and IELTS. We do not have control over this, so please work with your master's degree program to know whether you need to submit TOEFL or IELTS. Some of you do not need to submit TOEFL or IELTS, but you need to reach out to the GSO at your master's degree interest program and ask them if you need to submit TOEFL or IELTS. And some degree programs are requiring GRE, GMAT, and MCAT. Very few programs require this. Again, reach out to the degree program that you're interested in and clarify with them. The deadline for degree program again varies, some of it, but for most of them starts on December 1st and it goes up to January 15. Again, there are other degree programs that go beyond that, but we only consider for the applications that were submitted during the first round for the Scholars Program. You always have to check with the degree program website, email them, contact the admission staff, reach out to faculty and students to see if the degree program is the right fit for you and if you are fit for the degree program. So you should have those discussions. Now, I know most of you are going to ask about application fee waiver. And the short answer to this is yes, we do provide a very, very limited application fee waiver. We know it's very costly for most African applicants to use Berkeley, but we don't have the capacity to offer an application fee waiver for everybody. Like, for example, last year, there was 706 applications that just came to us, and we only gave out about 150 in collaboration with the graduate division. Some other degree programs did give also some application fee waivers. So if we didn't offer you the application fee waiver, it always helps to reach out to your degree program and ask them if they can cover the application fee waiver for you. And we always are advocating African students to get application fee waiver at UC Berkeley, but it does not always work. So please, we encourage you to reach out to the degree program directly. But if you can, if you are able to, please pay for it yourself. So how does the application fee waiver works? Since we have very, very limited, and we want to make sure that people who receive the application favor are definitely interested in coming to Berkeley, you first need to fill out at least the entire demographic section of the application information to your master's degree program. And you need to also request at least 2 letters of recommendation um, via email to the people that are going to provide you a recommendation letter. Now, they don't necessarily have to submit it immediately, but at least you need to identify 2 people and send them requests that they should send you recommendation letter. So once you do that, it will automatically prompt a link in your email saying, hey, are you interested for the application fee waiver at UC Berkeley? And you fill out that information. We'll read that out in discussion with the rest of the staff, and then we'll make our deliberation in around the 3rd week of November, just before the deadline of the application to Berkeley, December 1st. So you will hear from us around the 20th or 21st, 22nd of November. And again, ask you degree programs if they have any application fee waiver that they can offer. We do not provide any standardized test assistance if you have to pay for it, whether it's TOEFL, IELTS, GMAT, GRE, MCAT, or even the SOFAs in the public health department. We do not pay for any of those fees. We only provide the 155 application fee waiver. And the LLM and the MBA program have their own application portal, so you need to directly engage with them. So what do our scholars look like at UC Berkeley? So since the initial grant in 2012 and until today, we have 181 alumni as of summer 2025. They graduated, they completed all the degree programs, but also the different kind of opportunities that we provided, including the transformative leadership, the Alumni Impact Fund, the retreat, the many speakers that we bring, and they are out there and about, most of them achieving that dignified and fulfilling work, and some of them even went to start their own ventures and startups. The current grant goes through 2030, but the last intake is in fall 2028. With the new grant that started in 2020, we expect to have 201 plus master's degree scholars until 2030. So we are in the second leg that we are expected to have 201 scholars. What is unique about the Scholars Program at UC Berkeley? We're looking for change makers. We're looking for transformative leaders. We're looking for entrepreneurs. We're looking for people that are engaged in public service, people that have demonstrated a give back aspect to their community, to their country, to the African continent, and beyond. So would like to see that in your application. And who's eligible? Every African country student is eligible. You can be from any part of the continent, from Egypt to South Africa to Kenya to Nigeria, anywhere in the African continent. Please apply. We strongly look forward to your application. And in a way, we're also hoping that the numbers at UC Berkeley will increase from the African continent. So please apply to UC Berkeley. We look for people with academic excellence, those who demonstrated commitment to transformative leadership, give back aspect, active engagement on the continent, but also even when you come here, it's one way of demonstrating that the African continent matters. And it's one way of educating the UC Berkeley campus, community, faculty, and staff. And the kind of people that qualify for this scholars program are people who have experienced significant barriers to accessing higher education, including social, financial, personal, practical, or health-related challenges in the past. And we strongly encourage women, people with disability, refugees, exiles, and displaced people that are on the continent. So there is 45 plus master's degree program that are eligible for the scholars program at UC Berkeley. This is just in a nutshell, from the business school to education to the College of Engineering to College of Environmental Design, School of Information, uh, the journalism school, the law school, letter and science, College of Natural Resources, public health, and including the Goldman School of Public Policy and School of Social Welfare. So if you are really looking to study something for master's degree, there is always something for everybody at UC Berkeley. If you find the kind of degree that you're trying to apply to is not here, you can always reach out to us and reach out to the degree program to ask them. I did not see the list. I did not see the master's program that I'm interested in the list of the Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. Can you find out if the program is eligible for the Scholars Program? And then they should be able to guide you or interact with us and we decide whether it qualifies for the Scholars Program. Now, if it's a 3-year degree program, it does not qualify for the scholars program. If it's a dual degree or concurrent degree, it does not qualify for the scholars program. If it's an online master's degree, it does not qualify for the scholars program. And only programs that align with the academic year starting in fall of the year qualify for the scholars program at UC Berkeley. There are some programs that might start in the summer. Those programs do not qualify. So it's a degree program that starts in the fall that's qualify for the scholars program. Some degree programs have a boot camp during the summer. We are okay with those. We support the student to come for the boot camp a little early. Okay.
Meron,
Yes.
are you done? There are a few
No.
questions here.
Final point. I have a final point. So you begin, the most important aspect of this is that you begin the process by applying to the graduate program of your interest. You apply directly to the master's degree program through the portal available at UC Berkeley. Meet the application deadline. If you cannot submit by the deadline, then it means the application has passed you this year to start for the following fall. In February, we will invite those nominated by the master's degree program to apply for the scholars program. So you do not reach out to us, we reach out to you because we have the entire system at our disposal to see who have applied from Africa, who have submitted the application, and it's the nomination from the degree program that gets you to us. And one more important thing, that we do not provide explanation as to why someone was or was not awarded a place in the scholars program. And you can always email us through our email address, which is mcfs.programinfo@berkeley.edu, and we will respond to your emails within 24 to 48 hours. Please, we strongly discourage that you reach out to us through direct or work email address. The work email address is for work related. Anything related to the scholars program, you reach out through the mcfs.programinfo@berkeley.edu. That was our presentation for today, and we're happy to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
So before we head to the questions, there are a few quick ones, Meron.
Yes.
So, I mean, many of the questions were asking about the application fee waiver. I think that was very clear. They have to start the process. You have to start the application process. And once you prompt your references and you've inserted an email in your application process for those referees, once you send them that, you prompt them, you'll get a link to apply for the fee waiver. Some people are asking, this is open to everyone in Africa, whether you're in North Africa, South Africa, wherever. If you're an African citizen on the African continent, you can apply. If you're an African citizen with permanent residence in the US, Canada, you're not eligible for this. If you have received a Mastercard scholarship for your undergraduate, it's not priority will not be given to you. Then the other thing is if you have a master's degree, then this is a master's program. You would also not be considered. You'll not be given a priority. So if you have a master's degree, this is not for you. Um, the other thing, I think, Meron, you can talk about the deadlines. Some of them are asking about the deadlines. You mentioned several deadlines. There's a December 1st deadline. You can talk about that, the various deadlines that people should be aware of, and then you can pick the other questions from the rest.
Right. So the most important deadline you should pay attention to is the deadline to your master's degree program. Currently, the application to all the master's degree program is open, and the first deadline is December 1st. And to be qualifying for the scholars program at UC Berkeley, you must submit your application by the first degree deadline, which is December 1st for most programs, some of them December 15th, some of them even as far as January. So you need to reach out to the degree program, figure out when is the first deadline, and you must submit your application, the entire application by then to be qualifying for the scholars program. Different degree programs have different deadlines, so pay attention to that. Reach out to your master's degree program. The second deadline that we have is the application fee waiver deadline. That is November 15, so that it gives us enough time to read before Thanksgiving. We can reach out to you and inform you because the following week is the deadline, which is December 1st. So the application fee waiver is around November 15 or November 16. So please pay attention to that deadline if you want to be considered for the application fee waiver.
Some people are asking about an interview, when we do the interview, and if we do the interview for the scholarship.
Right. So early in January, we reach out to degree programs to send us nominations, and we explain to them what kind of scholars we are looking for. Based on the criteria we give it to them, they send us their nominees. Once they send us their nominees, we send you our own supplemental application, the scholars program application. And then you fill out that application. We have to read that application from you directly in collaboration with all the materials that you submitted to the master's degree program. We have access to your transcript, to your personal history statement, statement of purpose, to your recommendation, letters from your recommenders. We read all that, including the supplemental application. Once we do that, then we reach out to you if you have progressed to the next step, which is the interview section. That happens around early to mid-March, and you will be notified if you have made progress towards the scholars program.
So I know some people are asking about age limit. There are questions also about English proficiency. I know there are countries that are excluded from the English proficiency. Meron, you want to comment on that?
Right. So what happened with the English proficiency is that the most important thing you should do is reach out to your master's degree program, to the graduate division advisor in your master's degree program. Ask them, inform them where you studied for your undergraduate degree, in what medium of instruction, was it English or any other language, and ask them if you need to submit that TOEFL or IELTS. Now, Duolingo is not accepted at UC Berkeley. It's either TOEFL or IELTS. The university does not recognize Duolingo. So on that basis, see what they respond to you. They might tell you don't need it. They might tell you you need it. But there are certain standards that the university has to follow, and it's for this reason that you have to submit either IELTS or TOEFL. And for other reasons, could be like GMAT, the MCAT, the GRE. There are some programs that require the GRE, for example. So you have to prepare for this. The sooner, the better. But the best advice I have for you is reach out to the degree program, ask them if you need to submit those materials.
Yeah.
Not everyone is required to submit those. If you come from, let's say, Kenya and you went to USIU, you are most likely not needed to require to submit the TOEFL and IELTS. But again, double check, don't take my word, double check with the degree program.
So the keyword there is to double check with your degree program. There are some countries that are, of course, excluded. And if you come, let's say if you come from a Francophone speaking country, just know that you might be required to take that test. As I said, if you are beneficiary of a Mastercard Foundation scholarship, I'm not saying you will not be considered, but I'm just saying it will not be given the priority that others who have never benefited from the program. We give around an estimate, right now we have the scholars we have in session right now, as I'm speaking, the new ones are around 21. So you can imagine we asked for 33, but because of visa issues and all that, and that is something you have also to factor in. So we have a limited number of scholarships to give. So we might get around 700 applications, but we can only award around 30, let's say that's 30. So there's a lot of competition. Somebody asked about grades. Yes, the program makes those decisions. It's not us. The program is the one that admits you. Our role is to also make a supplemental evaluation from the supplemental application that you make that Meron talked about, and we make judgment on to what extent a scholarship would be able to help you to realize those dreams. Another question. I think we've seen a lot of questions on waivers. I think that has been explained. You have to start the application process. Get your referees, prompt your referees. It doesn't mean that the referees have to reach out to us. Prompt them by putting their email. Once you press send, within 24 hours, you'll get a link. Any person who knows you, I would prefer your former professors, and your supervisor at work can act as a referee. What about those people, Meron mentioned some people have asked about those who did their degrees in the US, undergraduate degrees, and they feel like they can apply.
Yeah, you do qualify even if you study anywhere outside the African continent for your undergraduate. You do qualify. You should apply to the scholars to master's degree program at UC Berkeley. That does not stop you from being considered. Um, as long as if you have master's degree, then you have to think twice because priority is not definitely, it's not going to be given to you. It's going to be given to somebody who does not have master's degree. Whereas if it's only just undergrad, then you should. Just, if you have a second citizenship in the global north, or if you have permanent residency, or if you have asylum application in the global north, you do not qualify for the scholars program. This scholars program is meant to be for African students who, for some reason, are not able to access higher education. So, whereas if you are in the global north with green card and other means of permits, then you have access to taking loans and so on and so on. So, this is for those who cannot pursue higher education due to their circumstances on the continent. But having studied overseas does not constitute against you. And then some of you are asking about, is my program qualified? So just send us an email. If you don't see it in the eligibility list, please send us an email. And I'm going to post the list of eligible programs in the chat section as we are speaking.
Yeah, and just to clarify, some questions are being repeated about those who are on those who've graduated and benefited from a Mastercard scholarship at the undergraduate level. Yes, we accept your applications. It's only that the foundation considers that as not a strong priority compared to people who've never received that application. But the whole application is looked at holistically. As Meron mentioned, there are other items that are looked at. For example, economic status, issues of disability, issues of if you're from, a displaced community or refugee status, and all those things are looked at in a holistic way. So that is why I said it's not given the priority when you compare that to a fresh application from someone who has never gotten this scholarship. However, I have to say that we actually have each year, maybe two, Meron, is it about two, sometimes one of our scholars who've just previously had a Mastercard scholarship. So don't say that it should not be on record that, I said you will not get. No, 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 no. I'm just saying it will not be given a priority, and that those are just the instructions we also get. So you're welcome to make the application, certainly.
Again,
Yeah.
I will continue to say if something is not very clear for you in this session, because it's a very limited time, we are left with 15 minutes, you can always email us to mcfs.programinfo@berkeley.edu, mcfs.programinfo@berkeley.edu, or you can always go to our website, which is Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program at UC Berkeley. There's a whole lot of information as well. Always email us. We will go beyond this session to explain to you.
Yeah, a lot of guys are saying they have a master's. So if you have a master's, these are master's programs. So it's the same thing, looking at how resources are scarce, and you already have a master's degree, and you're in a position like ours, how would you make that decision? You have 700 applications to give to a master's degree scholarship, and some people have master's degrees. So it's obviously that you will not be given a priority. So if you already have a master's degree, this is for people who do not have a master's degree. Somebody asked about age limit. We do not have an age limit, certainly, but I can tell you the scholars that I've seen here are usually in their 20s, 30s, that is the range that we are seeing. But I've never seen any document anywhere that there's a age limit.
So UC Berkeley is a public institution, and at UC Berkeley, we do not discriminate on the basis of age, gender, or religion, or any other demography. We encourage everybody to apply. Another question that's on the chat section, I'm graduating in 2017. Should I still apply? If you graduated in 2017, the Scholars Program will exist until 2030, but the last intake is in 2028, and we are hopeful that this will be extended. So you can always apply after you graduate in 2027. For those of you that are graduating next year, May 2026, you are eligible to apply now to be considered for fall 2026. So you can apply.
Meron, what about those who are offered admission this year, but because of finances could not take up their spaces, but want to apply for the scholarship?
Yes. So one, if you have asked your degree program to defer you to start in fall 2026, that would have been ideal. If not, you have to reapply again, and we're hopeful that you will be nominated. So anyone can apply. Anyone who hasn't gotten a scholars program from us, they can always apply. But if you were already admitted to UC Berkeley, it would have been ideal if you deferred it to 2026, and you can just ask the graduate degree advisor at your degree program to nominate you or have a discussion with them how it works. They know already about that you do qualify for the scholars program.
Meron, some people are asking about let me read that. So to just give you an overview of the process is because some people are asking about if they got for example, funding at high school level, if that will also influence our decision. My suggestion is that just apply, whether you got a scholarship or not, at high school level, or of course at high school level that is a bit far off. We don't have any specific direction on that. We only have a specific instruction on those who got a master's, an undergraduate degree funded by the foundation. But if you are funded in the past or not, just make the application. The whole process of this decision making is not just the two of us or just the team here, the Center for African Studies. It's a whole process that begins from the graduate division, from the program. So by the time it reaches At this point, it's a refined process. It's a very fair process. So everything will be taken into consideration. So nothing should discourage you from that.
Some of you are asking if a certain degree program is eligible for the scholars program. If you don't sit in our list, what you should do is reach out to your degree program, and you can always CC us through the MCFS, that program info at berkeley.edu, and then that will prompt a discussion. Some of the degree program existed as a scholars program, they dropped. Some of them probably don't know about the scholars program. We always are advertising to get almost every master's degree program to be eligible, but I should inform you that not all master's degree programs are eligible for the scholars program. So please reach out to them and include us or CC us in that email so that we can start discussion.
Sure. For those people who are asking about the hints on the application process, we already told you that. So UC Berkeley, if you look at the statistics, even for American citizens, it accepts not more than 10% of the people who apply to the program. So it's a very competitive university. It's the #1 public university in the world. So your application has to be very strong. Get good references. The programs will definitely look at your grades. They will look at what you scored. It doesn't mean that if you need to have had straight A's. As Meron said, it is a holistic process. So don't just submit grades and stop at that and think the grades will do for you the magic. Talk about your leadership potential. Talk about your creativity. Talk about the things you're doing in your community. Talk about extracurricular stuff that you've done, sports and all that. And if possible, demonstrate that with evidence, with statistic, with, and everything. So that will do for you well. Yeah, as I said, it's a holistic process, but it's a fair process.
Um, Someone is asking on how do you attribute application fee waiver? You should only apply to the application fee waiver if you cannot make the payment yourself. If you cannot bring that $155, if that's difficult for you. If you can make that payment, please pay it yourself. Applying to the application fee waiver does not constitute your eligibility for the general Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program. It's just we provide in this application fee waiver for people who might not be able to submit that application fee waiver. If, let's say, you are working and you're getting paid and you are able to make that payment, you should pay for it, because in the first place, there isn't too many. Last year, we had 706 applicants. We only gave out 150. And we have so many applicants to consider. So if you really want to come to Berkeley, you don't want to miss out on coming. If you can pay for it yourself. Only if you cannot pay for it, we can consider you. Some of you are asking about, does certain master's degree program require work experience? This is something you need to discuss with the degree program. Because as Duncan said, we don't have a say in whether you will be admitted to a degree program or not. We are a scholars program. Once the degree program admits you, they nominate you to us. So you cannot put the cart before the horse. First, you need to get admitted to the degree program, and only then you get nominated to us. If you don't get admitted to the degree program, there is no use for us to read your application, or nobody is going to nominate you to us. So I strongly stress for you to submit your application, to do everything you can to qualify to be admitted to UC Berkeley. That's the key element of all this.
Sure.
And the application fee waiver only comes to you once. That link only comes to you once. And then you should use that link that comes to you to apply for the application fee waiver. If you did not get the application fee waiver, it means you are doing something wrong. It means you have not filled out the entire section of the demography, and you have not requested 2 application recommendation letters from either your previous professor, your boss at work, or anyone that you think could provide you with a recommendation letter. If you do those 2, you will get that application fee waiver link. Already, we have more than 200 people who received it. So please keep submitting the necessary material so that he can receive the link.
Yeah, something about the application fee waiver is that we will begin looking at those not on a rolling basis, but from around, is it around 17th or 18th of November, right, Meron?
Yes.
Around,
The deadline is 16th of November. So
yeah,
within the following days, we
the
should
following days we will look at that. And how will they know, Meron, that their
they,
fee waiver has been processed?
they will receive an email whether they've been approved or denied.
And if they've
Right.
been denied, they go ahead and pay, right?
If they've been denied, so they have to find out other means of paying for the application fee waiver. That's why we aim to respond to everybody that qualify and do not qualify by the early, the 20th, 21st, 22nd, by those deadlines, so that it gives them enough 5 to 7 days to find other means to pay for the application fee if we didn't offer them.
All right. And one thing to know is that once the application for the fee waiver is basically is a form that would be sent to you, a link where you basically answer questions as honestly as you can so that it will help you to make that determination. And we also don't give any reason why we do not give any fee waiver. We'll just make those decisions because there are very few fee waivers that we are giving against all these applications.
Another thing I want to add, please don't use AI. We're trying to read authentic responses, and we can pick it up whether it's AI generated responses or it's your authentic responses. So we humans like you, when we read, we want to read some authentic, genuine responses that is written by a human. And believe me, it's not that difficult to understand whether it's written by AI or by a person. So we strongly encourage for you to respond with your own responses. And in some of the questions requires your own responses. It cannot be the same for everybody. So I strongly encourage, even for your general application to degree programs at UC Berkeley, uh, we strongly encourage you to submit a response that is genuine, that is of your own words. Um, we understand your English might not be as perfect as somebody who's studied in the United States, but do your best. Revise, double check, make sure it's the right, it's one font throughout, it's the same font size throughout. But more importantly, ask yourself, am I passing the message that I'm trying to pass? And am I also in line with the number of words that they require in me? Those kind of response.
Someone has asked there a few minutes ago whether the referee must send the recommendation letter before they receive the fee waiver link, and that is not the case. Usually, once you just prompt them, once you put in an email and you press send, just be patient. It can even take 24 hours, or even slightly more. You will get a link. They do not need to send the recommendation letter. Those two things are not connected. However, fill out the application until at that point. If you can't get a reference from a supervisor at work, I mean, get a reference somewhere, get a reference from someone who can vouch for you, who knows you. I'm sure you are at school at some point. There are professors who know you. Get references from there. It doesn't have to be from, there's no requirement that it has to be a supervisor or your supervisor or manager at work. It can be someone who taught you and all that, but someone who can actually send that reference to Berkeley.
Right. Some of you are asking, do we get to pay for the sofas or to provide assistance for the sofas? We do not. We do not provide any assistance for sofas, for GRE, MCAT, TOEFL, IELTS, all sorts of tests that is required for you to qualify. We do not provide any assistance for that. We only are trying our very best to provide the application fee waiver. We don't have too many. Again, we encourage you to find ways to pay for it. If not, see if you can qualify. Not everybody will qualify. You do not directly apply for the scholarship. You apply to the degree program, and the degree program nominates you to us. We do not provide any evaluation. Some of you are asking on evaluation. Evaluation should be done by you yourself, and you should pay for it. The scholars program does not provide any evaluation.
some people are asking whether they can reach out to their professors in the program as they do for PhD applications. I don't think that would be helpful. The applications for the master's program or like the undergraduate program are very different. It's not targeted to a particular research that a professor does. So it is the program that will admit you, not the professor. So it doesn't help you reaching out to the professors at this point for this program.
Some of you are asking whether the GRE test is waived. You need to reach out directly to the degree program and ask those requirements. We do not have a say in the admission of you to the degree program. Just to clarify the difference, we are a scholars program. So we help you to come and study your master's degree without any financial hurdle. We are not the one that whether decides to admit you to that master's of engineering or master's of public health. It is a degree program that decide that. So just I want you to understand the difference where we sit in within UC Berkeley. So any degree related, admission related, please reach out to your degree program. Some of the degree program deadline is December 1st. Please, if again, we also encourage you, it does not hurt you for you to write an email to the degree program saying, when is the deadline for my degree program? Usually it's on the website. If you read, one thing you should do is invest time to read, understand. All this information that you're asking is on our websites, and the degree programs also have most of the response to your questions on their website. So please spend time reading, understanding, and following the requirements of what the degree program is putting out for you. Dual degree program, concurrent degree program, programs that require 3-year masters, those programs are not eligible for the scholars program. The maximum time you can get scholars program at UC Berkeley is 2 years. So if you're thinking into concurrent, dual degree, or a master's degree that takes 3 years, you do not qualify for the scholars program. Please do not apply to those. You can apply to those, but it means you have to pay out of pocket. The other thing is we encourage you to apply to multiple partner institutions. As I mentioned during the presentation, there is McGill, British Columbia, Toronto, Cambridge, Oxford, Edinburgh, Sciences-Po, Arizona University, Arizona State University. All those universities I just mentioned have the scholars program. They offer scholars program. So it's encouraged that you apply to all these degree programs so that at all these institutions so that your chances of getting admitted and getting the scholars program becomes high. And with that being said, it's exactly 10 o'clock. We're not going to be able to answer all your questions. Reach out to us through the mcfs.programinfo@berkeley.edu, and we will be able to respond to your questions. For today, we're going to close here. In about 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to upload this recording in our website. Currently, we have a recording from 2023 that will be updated. Again, in the past, only sub-Saharan African countries were eligible. Now, all African countries are eligible. If you are from Tunisia, Egypt, Morocco, Libya, West Sahara, please apply. Every single African country on the continent, on the map, is eligible for the scholars program. We look forward to reading your applications and receiving your nominations. For today, thank you very much. Duncan, if you can close it, please.
Yeah, thank you, Meron, and thank you all of you for taking the time to listen to us. And we look forward to seeing your applications. We wish you well. We wish you success. We look forward to support your careers, and we look forward to support for those who will make it. You're settling in integration into UC Berkeley, and we thank you once again. Feel free to reach out to us. The email is don't reach out to us individually. Reach out to us on the email that Meron provided, and we always answer all the questions there. Thank you so much.